Let's make some bread bowls. I'm going to make a broccoli cheddar soup to go in it later. Right now we're going to start out with about 2.5 cups of just warm water. And then I want about a teaspoon, I've got a half a tablespoon in my hand if you're wondering, about a teaspoon of sugar in that. And we're going to add 5 teaspoons, so there's 2, or I'm actually going to do about 6. And a little to grow on. And we're going to start with this wire whisk. And then what I'm actually going to do is turn that off, because I do it every time. Move that. And then I'm going to use me a actual whisk. And I'm going to mix all that up. I got a little bit up here on the sides. Sorry about your ears. Let me fix that. And I just speed it up real good till it's kind of foamy like that. And then I'm going to let it sit for at least 5 minutes for that to activate. Okay, now we're going to go ahead. I don't think it's been 5 minutes, but I'm ready. Then I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of melted butter into this. I'm going to add a good tablespoon of salt. I'm not sifting my flour. You can if you want to, but do for bread bowls. I'm not going to sift it. I'm going to put in a little bit of flour. We'll go ahead and put in a cup or 2, and then I'll switch back to the dough hook. Now, I am using bread flour. And this can be up to 7 cups for these bowls. We'll see how it turns out. Your mixer will actually let you know that. Whoops, y'all, I'm dropping dishes everywhere. I'm crowded over here. Let me put this dough hook on. Now, while we're between, I'm going to push some of this off the side, and we'll keep on moving. So now we are at, I believe I said 2 cups before I swapped the. Well, that's not doing us a lot of good, is it? You know, that's the second time that's happened. I'm beginning to think my dough hook from a KitchenAid is dangerous. It comes off pretty easy. For some reason. Like it's like loose or something. There's 3 cups. Now let me turn it up a little bit. I'm going to add another little pinch of sugar. I mean a pinch. It was maybe another teaspoon. I think that's 5 cups. That's not what's so important. important, to be honest with you. What's important? It might tell you 7 cups. It might take 6. It might take 8. What's important is for that dough to pull loose and clean from the inside of that bowl. We are not there yet, so I believe this will be 6. We'll just go ahead and drop that whole one. Whoa, 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 that's too fast, Melissa. Make a mess over here. You're not in the kitchen till you're wearing some on it. Now we're getting closer, but we are not there. Just go in with about a half more cup. I don't think I need all that. Now I'm just adding a little bit because we're getting close. If you don't want to use sugar, you can use honey. If you don't want to use butter, you can use oil, olive oil. Now we're starting to get a clean bowl. Not quite. It's going to hold pretty much 7 cups. But we're getting there. I think y'all can see down into the bottom of that pretty good. This thing would stay up a little further. I gotta be able to get over here to it though. We're really close. It's just not come off the bottom clean yet, but it's really close. That was my phone over there going dead. Now with this bread, you can let your mixer do the work, which is probably the better idea unless you just really want some arm exercise. It's just a lot of dough. That is the 7th cup. We still just have a tad on the bottom. It's not picking up clean yet. It's going to, I think, now. Yep, now we got a clean bowl. You'll see it'll even start taking it from the sides, and it'll leave the bottom and the sides real clean. And I'm going to pause it and let it do that for 4 or 5 minutes. I'm going to turn it down to the lowest setting and then let it go that long. I think that's pretty good. Let me look at it and see. Oh, I got locked up. I always forget about the flour that gets on top of these paddles or hooks. I'm going to do just another minute or 2. I still got just a tad, but I don't really care if there's a wee bit left on the bottom. Should come out. There it goes. That's all it takes, that tiny little pinch. And then if you get too much, you can always add just a tad, like a drop of oil if you needed to. That's pretty perfect. Let me show you what I mean by that. Well, every time I try to pull it up, it sticks back. It's not stuck. I'll show you. I do still think it's, I don't know, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Let me move the camera over here. Okie dokie. Now then basically we're just going to put it over in that lightly. You want to oil a glass bowl, but you see how that's pretty clean with the exception of a piece or 2, but the bottom is clean and it pulls away from the side. That's all you're really looking for. And I'm just gonna knead it a little bit for therapeutic. This is the most beautiful therapeutic thing to me, bread. It really is. For me anyway. And then I'm just going to pick it up, and I've got a bowl lightly oiled with some olive oil. Well, I actually want to kind of just do this. Lightly roll it around in that oil. And then we're just going to let it sit. And we're going to put a dry piece, either a plastic or towel over it. And let it just, I don't have a piece of plastic right here. So let me find me a towel. Saran wrap. Just put it on there loose so it can rise. And you want to leave it for an hour or two, however long it takes to at least double in size. And we'll go from there in a bit. Hey, I'm going to have to do a voiceover right here because I had left my microphone in the charger while that bread was rising. And I just went straight to work. This is me putting some cornmeal on the cookie sheet with parchment paper. And once we shape our bowls, they'll be transferred over to this. Now we're going to punch our dough. Now you can do this in 6 bowls. You can even, if you want them smaller, you could even do 8. You'll just have to adjust your cooking time, of course. And these only took about a half hour to cook. And I did 4. The recipe will be wrote for the 6. You are going to hear some dead air, but that's just because this is a voiceover. I'm just kind of rolling that around, and then I'm going to divide it. And I divide it into 4 bowls, like I said. But that's your preference. I'm just putting a little bit of oil on that so it don't stick to my dough when I am dividing. Boy, did I have a time with this video, y'all. Only because after I did these bread bowls, I turned around and I made cheddar and broccoli soup to go inside them. Well, I thought that the video stopped. I thought I hit stop. So, you know, when I finished the bread bowls. And I went on into making and I even changed the view from vertical to horizontal when I started the soup. Well, I looked up about halfway through, and it was all one video. So I had to separate these videos, change it to where you could actually see it, because one of them was turned the wrong way. So I had to do some editing tonight. See, I had 5, and I decided we're just going to go ahead and make 4. And I'm glad I did, because they're, to me, the perfect size for soup. Unless you eat like a mouse. I thought they were a good size. But I would imagine you could get 6 pretty decent ones out of it also. I bet if you let them set, they'd rise even a little more. I let them set each time. Well, the first rise was for about an hour. And this is coming up on the second rise. I'm, you know, rolling them out. And then I'm going to put them over here on this parchment paper with the cornmeal. I mean, it just goes on the bottom of them. And then I'm going to cover them with some plastic wrap. And then while they're covered with plastic wrap, we'll heat the oven to 425 degrees. And we'll let them sit until that oven is preheated. And they should double, just about double in size while your oven's preheating. So after we get this part of it done, then you want a sharp knife to score an X in the top of each of them. or like a razor blade. I need to get me some razor blades for the bread. Because no matter how sharp I feel like my paring knife is, it never really wants to cut into that dough like I think a razor blade would for you. It does the job. I hope y'all all had a really good Thursday. I can't complain. I've had a pretty good day. The weather is amazing here. It really is, like in the 70s. I think tonight's going to be in the 50s. This is where I'm going to score them. I started out with a tomato knife because they're pretty sharp. Thinking it might work better than my paring knife, and you'll see that I swap. And I go back to the old trusty Rada paring knife. These turn out amazing. They are delicious, and with a soup like that in them, oh my goodness. And to me, the hardest part about this is, you know, just waiting on the rise, the process of it. There's nothing hard about this meal. If you've got time, it's a good one to do. And that process was just an hour. Well, I'll have to do a voiceover on this. So I just realized that microphone was not on. So I have left this rising for so long, I took it off and put it back in the charger. So we'll just have to do an edit. I was saying I could use a razor blade, like a sharp razor blade would actually work better for some of this. But that's all right, I'm just scoring the top. And while our oven preheats, we're just going to leave these sitting again. And the oven is preheating to 425, and these should double in size again. So I'm just going to leave them. I'm going to put some plastic over the top. Oh, go ahead, and we're going to use a little egg wash. I just mixed up 1 egg, teaspoon of water. And we're going to put a little bit on here, and then we're going to put the plastic back over them. Let them double or so while the oven preheats. And then we're going to bake them for 15 minutes, and we're going to take them out, and we're going to do the egg wash one more time, and then we'll bake them another 15 minutes. Let's see if I can get this to score a little better. But it's stubborn not wanting to actually go in the dough. This one did a good job of it. There we go. Now we'll let them set and double. We're about to put them in the oven. Remember, 15 minutes, egg wash, and then 15 more minutes. Now we're going to take these out. It's been 15 minutes. Be real careful. I feel like this is like a huge no-no, but I'm following this recipe. We're going to do the egg wash again. And then I'm going to flip this pan just because it's easier for me. It'll be even with my crazy oven. Okay. By flip, I just mean swap sides. Flip it around. We'll put those in the back. I've got a bowl that's kind of protruding out. That's all right. They look so good. 15 more minutes. Now I'm prepping for cheddar broccoli soup. to go in these bread bowls. That'll be on a different video because this one's long enough. And they're done. I could have. Now I'm going to let them cool. And then I'll cut out the top and dig out the bread bowl. And you can see back here I have chicken broth, carrots, onion, celery, broccoli. There's cheddar cheese, of course, that's going to go in it. Some heavy whipping cream, a little bit of flour, some salt, and some pepper. And we're going to have some cheddar broccoli soup to go in our bread bowls.